I'll bring it. Two seats up here.
Didn't last very long, did it? That Billy hurt when he came up. He didn't get treatment. They said he hurt. He started crying. Because he knew his race was over. Which is a good thing. Everybody should be happy. Right? Well, I was saying, we looked at the pictures when we come in, and you know, a lot of funerals are all sad and everybody's crying, and you come in here and it looks peaceful. All the pictures make you smile, and all the little pictures that come up on the screen. I mean, everything just makes you happy. He's just a good guy. But I'll see if I can make it through this. Please excuse me. But peace in the valley. We don't have any music. We're just going to sing acapella. So there again, that's doing for a reason. So if I mess up a little bit, overlook that. Well, I'm tired and so weary, but I must go alone till the Lord comes and calls me away. Oh, yeah. Well, the morning's so bright, and the Lamb is the light. And the night is as dark as the sea. Oh, yeah. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh, Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. Well, the bear will be gentle
and the wolves will be tamed, and the lion shall lay down by the Lamb, oh yeah, and the beast of the wild shall be led by a child, and I'll be changed from this creature that I am, oh yeah. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me someday.
Man.
Billy Earl Connor, 69, of Juan, Oklahoma, passed away unexpectedly early Friday morning in his home. Billy was born the son of Raymond and Bessie Rosetta Connor on February 14, 1945, in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. He was raised and educated in Kirbyville, Missouri, and earned his GED through the military in 1965. As a young boy, Billy learned his trade as an auto mechanic from his father, Raymond. He was also employed over the years with his brother at Connor's Auto Service. Billy served in the U.S. Army as part of the 68th Artillery at Fort Bliss. There he met Charmel Rambaud, and they were united in marriage on January 7, 1967 in El Paso, Texas. Billy loves horses, fishing, and the outdoors. Billy and Charmel were married 47 and a half years, and he loved spending the day at the rodeo with his grandchildren, spending the evenings with his friends, and relaxing with his wife. Billy's great love for cars, racing, and Dale Earnhardt was always evident, especially for his 55 Chevy Bel Air. 5'5". Billy survived by his loving wife, Charmel Connor, at the home, one son, Billy Connor, Jr. of Branson, Missouri, 4 daughters, Charlena Connor of Bartlesville, Carrie Vincent and Vince of Dewey, Barbara Dickard and Lonnie of Springville, Arkansas, and Angel Dodd and Bobby of Bentonville, Arkansas, 2 sisters, Ruby Carnelson and Mickey of Sacramento, California, and Lavina Youngblood and Sherman of Bristow, Oklahoma, 1 brother, Jimmy Connor and Shirley of Dewey, and a number of grandchildren who meant the world to him, as well as a host of other family and friends. He'll be preceded in death by his parents. Billy would be greatly missed by all. There's a website if you want to give your condolences and memories at the bottom of the page. Which we'll all miss Bill, and boy, he's got a lot of friends, and just a very good person. He's my father's lover. He was also my friend. And I can't say nothing about that. You know, he's always there for me. If I need anything, he'd call him. You know, he wouldn't want anything. Sometimes we just talk about old car. You know, he's down there or something. Just someone that I like to talk to. And like I said, it's very hard, but I mean, it should be happy for him. He obviously, by looking at him, I mean, he is at peace and went to heaven and beat the race. He's done, and I mean, you can look at folks, and I don't most of us have been to a funeral. If you look at Bill and look at other folks that've been, there's a big difference in their face. Anybody that knows, that's read the Bible, knows that there's an end, and it's all speculative till the end, and everybody's religious. You know, there are no atheists in foxholes. You'll call out. If you have a story that you'd like to share with us, come up and tell about Bill. I told Kev I would start off. First time that I met Bill, I came in, and because of my gray hair, they thought I was 40 years old, and then I brought her 22-year-old daughter brought a 40-year-old man over to the house. How old is he? But I've been gray since I was 18. Well, Bill and I, he talked to me. I mean, he treated me great from the second. Better than I treat my daughter's boyfriend, I can tell you that. But we went to the parts store, and everybody knows, Bill wasn't a great big guy. And we went to the parts store. I remember standing in line, and this Indian gentleman came up to the counter and cut in line in front of us. Billy being Billy. Hey, sucker, we were here first. I turned around and looked at him on, oh, dude, I hit this guy shoulder high. He was a huge man. And the old guy said, I'm sorry. Backed up. Nothing else was said. We got in the car coming home. And I said over and I turned around and looked at him. He said, what? I go, what the heck was that? Are you trying to get us killed? That guy would eat us. And old Bill being Bill, we were first. He cut in line. What a question. This is why. That was why we loved him. You didn't have to wonder where you stood. Bill will tell you real quick. Anyhow, if anybody else has a story.
She might not. Some of you might want to just say, he was a good man. Or he did this for me, he did that for me. You don't even have to come up here. You can just say it if you want. But I want to give you a moment that if you do want to say something, to go ahead if you feel you can.
Well, I had a difficult time getting him to even take the fish hook out of my foot. You don't go fishing with him, he won't help.
Well, I learned early on, don't let him borrow your 3-wheeler. Because he's going to drive it up a tree. Billy's character, he'd give you that look, and you knew you better straighten up. Boy or girl. He had a way with people. Some of them liked it, and some of them didn't. But he was always a softie inside. And is a softie. In Genesis, it talks about God creating man, and it says that he breathed life into him. And if you've ever been there toward the end, they take that last breath, that life goes back to God. Billy was unsure for a time if he was ready to go. He started having dreams and what some people would consider a vision of somebody holding a key. And he said he had the key and then the key was gone. And one of his daughters said to him, well, Daddy, do you think that you're ready? You need to get ready. And then a few weeks later in the house, he said he saw Jesus behind the daughter. And Jesus handed him a key. And he looked down and in his hand was a key. And at that point, a reassurance came over him. A peace of knowing. In Matthew 16:13, Jesus was talking to his disciples. And I would say Billy's probably quite a bit like Peter. He's rough around the edges, but he's very faithful. He's going to help you any way he can. And in chapter 6 16 and 13 of Matthew. Jesus was talking, he said, who do they say I am? But who do you say I am? Simon Peter answered, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said to him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. I also say to you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overpower it. And I will give you the keys to the kingdom. So the key to the kingdom was a revelation that Jesus was the Son of God. And he had that key. And it opened that door up. And he'll walk right on in. In Hebrews chapter 11, it says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Again, a revelation, a belief. Some people can say, I'm a Christian. Some people can say, I believe in Jesus. But there's a revelation of, and to me, when I was a little boy, it came like this. I'm Jesus. I'm real. Believe in me. And at that moment, I had the revelation. And I did. And I have the assurance because of that. You can't shake it. It says, without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he comes to God, for he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who seek him. To seek God, you come to a revelation that he is real. You come to a revelation and peace, knowing that he is the Savior. I don't have a lot of wonderful words today, but Billy started with a wonderful father and a wonderful mother, Raymond and Bessie, and they raised him in church. And he was first a son. And if you listen to all the stories, ornery as all get out. He was also a brother. And I'm sure he never played a trick on any of his brothers and sisters. He was also a cousin. Probably a mean one. They still love you. In his younger years, he loved fast cars. And that never changed. He liked to wear white shirts, creased pants, and white shoes. He didn't go by the tabloids that said no white shoes after such and such date. There wasn't a tabloid back then. He went to the Army at Fort Bliss. And in 1967, he met a Carhart girl who couldn't hang on to a drink. And he courted her and married her. And they were married for 47 years. And as a husband, he was stubborn. He would argue. But he always cared. And he always loved. As a husband, he became a father. had Charlena, and Carrie, Barbara, and Billy, and Angel, and he provided for them. They told me they didn't have everything they wanted, but they never lacked for anything. He was big about giving his loved ones what they wanted and making sure that they were taken care of and that they were happy. He nurtured them. He took his passions and he gave it to them as their passions. He loved the dirt bike. They would all dirt bike all over the place. Up and down the hills, past the chiggers and the ticks. He loved basketball. He taught his girls to play basketball and his boy. And he had them over all the time in El Paso, all the neighbors playing basketball until late at night. He loved fishing. He loved horseback riding. One story that I remember, maybe not perfect, but he would go to all the basketball games. And I remember he went through a period of time where he was kind of bearded a little bit, didn't shave all the time, and wore a stocking cap. And he would go to the girls' basketball games, and he would go, he'd make stern, mean faces, especially when talking to the boys that liked his girls. He was very protective and very loving. He liked fast cars still. And for the first child to have a car, he got a hatchback Nova with flames. And that car got passed down and passed down until they were tired of looking at it. Billy was a friend. And as Charmel said this morning, Billy was a witness in his way. Billy was not a religious man. Religious is dead works. But Billy was a spiritual man. And being spiritual is totally different than being religious. You know, Peter, right after he had the revelation that Jesus was the Son of God, when it came time for Jesus to get crucified, he still denied him. He denied him 3 times. But Peter is like Billy, and he's like us. We all have times of trials, troubles, and tribulations, but we are always on our way up because we know where our hope is. Billy was a fan. He was your fan, and 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 all your kids' fans at every ball game. Every one he could go to, every horse rodeo, every basketball game. Billy was the biggest fan, but he was your fan. And what does Billy like NASCAR? Dale Earnhardt. That was a passion of his. He always liked fast cars. He always believed in having fun. He would talk to you, and you may feel like he's mad. You may feel like he's angry. You may feel like it's rough, but he was really a softie. Sometimes he just did it just to get a reaction. He was known as Bad Bill. But he'll always be known as our love and our Billy Earl Connor. The son, the brother, the cousin, the husband, the father, the uncle, the grandpa, the friend, the fan, bad Bill, the softie. And now that he has stepped over, he's back with Raymond and Bessie, and he's a son again. He's their son, and he's a son of God. In a new place, a better place, a happy place. No tears, no pain, no turmoil. I bet he can't even frown or get a grumpy face. He was a good man. He is a good man. He will forever be in our hearts. When I talked at Aunt Bessie's funeral, I got an analogy that I used, that she touched us and nurtured us, and she put things in us, and it was related to me that she was working us like a garden, and she was canning good things and putting it on a shelf, and we've been eating from those good things for years, and Billy was the same way. We will cherish and use what he has done and said for years to come. I want to read the scripture. It says in 1 Thessalonians 4:13-18, "But we do not want you to be uninformed, brethren, about those who are asleep, that you may not grieve, as do the rest of you who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep in Jesus. For we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first." He's still trying to be fast. He's going to beat you. "Then we who are alive and remain will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore comfort one another with these words." I don't know what to say, but I love Billy Connor. He created some wonderful people. He was a wonderful man. He was not just a cousin or an uncle figure. He was a friend. And he loved to make fun of me. Anything he could pick on you about, he would do it. Does anybody have anything to say?
But you need to listen to the words of this song, but it's dear to my heart too. Very, very beautiful song with a good meaning, and I felt led to say something about, and Billy and I have had many discussions. When we have a big dinner, everybody gets together and holds hands, and we say a prayer, around the deal. So Billy's always been religious. It's just sort of like me. I said, "Are you going to be there with me when we go to the judgment?" Nobody's going to be with you. You're going to be by yourself. I said, "Well, don't tell me to live. I'll tell you how to live. I'll get judged on my own accord." And that's the same thing. You don't want to wait too long. And if you don't believe, I would really love to hear you tell somebody in the 1920s about a cell phone today. You don't know anything. They would have thought you were crazy and hung you out to dry. That we don't know everything. We're not
meant to know everything, and one day it'll all be revealed to us. We don't know why we go through this life, and I have a really hard time, obviously, with death. I don't understand that part. I'm really interested to hear what the Lord has to say about it, because it's painful. And but anyway, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that Billy was deeply religious, or not religious, spiritual. He did believe in Jesus and the Lord, and he thought he died for his sins. And if you don't believe it, don't let the rest of the world fool you into believing it. It's just not real. Because, you know, it's like I said, there's a million examples I could give you, and there's no time for it today. But you would have, if we were meant to know everything, we would. Apparently, we can't handle it. So, but this is Homesick, is the name of this song. It's got a lot of meaning. There's a light in the window, and the table spread in splendor. Someone standing by an open door. I can see a crystal river, so I must be near forever. And I've never been this homesick before. See the bright light shine, it's just about home time. I can see my father standing at the door. This old world's been a wilderness, and I'm ready for deliverance. Lord, I've never been this homesick before. I can see the family gathered, sweet faces, they're all familiar, but no one's old or feeble anymore. I can see the family gathered, sweet faces, they're all familiar, but no one's old or feeble anymore. Oh, this lonesome heart's a-crying, think I'll spread my wings for flying. And I've never been this homesick before. See the bright light shine, it's just about home time. I can see my father standing at the door. This old world's been a wilderness, and I'm ready for deliverance. Lord, I've never been this homesick before.
I'd like to let you know that the veterans are going to come down and present the flag. And then at that point, they're going to go outside with hats, and we will all follow them out. And once that's over, you're free to go visit, whatever you want to do at that point.
Okay.
Bugler, sound tap.